do here is go back.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of Tune In Live. It is the 19th of October. We didn't have an episode last week because I am trying to alternate and find a schedule for both the Tune In Live podcast and the Other Side podcast. So if you missed last week's episode of The Other Side where I spoke about exorcism, that is up on our YouTube channel right now. You can check that out later on when you have the time. So make sure that if you are watching us on YouTube, our channel is Arrow Entertainment. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. We do have much more content that is coming your way within the coming weeks. So please stand by for that. Also, if you're watching us live on twitch.tv/Arrow with a name and kick.com/Arrow Entertainment, be sure to hit that follow button over there as well. Also, we are on Discord. If any of you guys listening into the podcast, if you want to join us on Discord for updates and much more, link is down below in the About sections and the description section of the YouTube video that you're watching right now. Also, if at any time, if you feel like donating, if you want to donate to the channel for any reason whatsoever, we got a Cash App link down below. So if you want to donate at all, feel free to do so. Cash App link is right down below. So, here we are toward the end of October just about. Now next week, next Thursday, I will be doing an episode of The Other Side. And I haven't really thought much of what the episode is going to be, but since it's the Halloween season, I figure why not talk about Halloween and its traditional backgrounds. And of course, also next week, our teammate Tom Cypher, he's going in for surgery. He's already explained that in one of the last episodes of Utter Random Crap. You know, he's going to have a surgical procedure done on his back. So many prayers to Reverend Tom, Brother Tom over there, if you are listening in, buddy. Many prayers. He is prepping this week for it. So hopefully everything goes smoothly, everything goes pretty good. And hopefully he'll be back on his feet within no time. Hopefully it does something good for him. But tomorrow he will be here. We will be doing an episode of Utter Random Crap, URC. And hopefully we already got a guest. I haven't told him yet because I don't know how promising this guest is going to be. I told them to download Discord on their mobile device, click the link. I would send them the link. And they can hop on in, and we can have a good old time tomorrow. So, if you guys want to be part of the show, whether it's The Other Side, Tune In Live, or Utter Random Crap, let us know. Let us know in Discord. Let us know on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Let us know. You can be a guest. You can be a co-host with us on one of the shows, whatever topics that we talk about. I will say this. If you guys are just now joining in our Discord, these podcasts are different topics each time we go into them. There's nothing drama related. There's no YouTube type drama, no Twitch drama, no social media drama, none of that. So if you've got a topic you want to talk about that's nothing of that nature, we can always talk about it. That's what these podcasts are about. So anyway, today's topics, as you can clearly see, is Walmart and Best Buy discontinuing physical media. Oh boy. This is a topic that has been coming. Mind you, it has been coming for some time now. And I want to say for about the past 5-6 years, this is something that's been coming. Because technology is evolving, people. Technology is evolving not rapidly, but it's at the point where it's like, damn, now maybe I got to stock up on Blu-rays and DVDs and audio CDs and physical games for my Xbox and my Nintendo Switch and PlayStation and whatever else I got. Now's the time to do it. Because that type of media is now becoming scarce in the market. And then, of course, to you music lovers, especially as myself, and if I had a special place, if I had the room for them, I would start collecting vinyl records, because vinyl records have made a big comeback within the last 5-6 years. Let me tell you, people are buying the hell out of vinyl records. They may cost anywhere between $20 and $40, depending on who's distributed them, depending on the artist, depending on everything, pretty much revolving around it. Vinyl record's not going to cost the amount of a audio CD. Making audio CDs is cheap. That shit's cheap. Making a vinyl record can be a little bit more expensive, especially the product that you're recording your music on. Vinyls, records have always been expensive in some way. But people are starting to buy vinyl records. They're starting to take up the trend and discover that music on vinyl records has a very distinctive audio sound to it that makes it probably a little bit more crisper. Maybe not cleaner, but it may be a little bit more cleaner, but it's a little bit more crisper with the audio sound than from what you hear on a regular audio CD, or maybe digitally on like Spotify or Amazon or Apple Music or whatever. But people love buying physical media. There is something about physical media that people enjoy collecting. And of course, I'm one that if I had the room, if I had the space and the time, I would probably buy the hell out of physical media, especially like VHS. Who here has grew up in the era of beta and VHS? I never personally owned or watched beta. I've seen beta videotapes. But when I was born, VHS and even Laserdisc were big on the market. We never had a Laserdisc player. That shit was too expensive back in the day. Laserdisc, collecting those is about the same as collecting vinyl records. It's about the same as collecting vinyl records. Nowadays, people look at that and they see it as a hobby, and they're like, well, shit, this is some good shit, collecting movies on a big ass CD, collecting music on a record. But sadly, that's starting to fade out again. Every generation, every so often, some new form of media pops in and takes over. It's like a fad. Records, they have been around since a couple centuries just about. Records have been a thing. People have found ways of recording music onto records, no matter the size or the quality or the type of material that they use. Records have been around for well over 100 years, people. Well over 100 years. I may be wrong on that. Let's see. How old are records? Wondering if you're old? No, let's see. I want to know. Let's see. When did records come out? All right. I want to say about 100. Let's see. When were records invented? Why not invented? Okay. The first recorded sound was captured in 1877 by Thomas Edison on his phonograph machine. So see, well over 100 years since the invention of the phonograph, aka the record player, and records. Edison's invention was the first to use grooves cut into a cylinder to record and play back sound. The subsequent significant development in recorded sound came from gramophone records made from shellac material. So records have been around. Records are the oldest living piece of technology when it comes to social, when it comes to physical media. When it comes to physical media, records have been around for almost 150 years. Jesus Christ. So let's say we take 2023 and subtract 1877. Records have been around for 146 years. That's a long time for physical media. I mean, I just probably blew your mind right now. If you did not know that little tidbit of information, I knew they were around for a long time, but when you look at it, when you do the math, vinyl records, whatever, they've been around for 146 years. The longest living piece of physical media out there, as I stated. And then there was times where it was phasing out and then phased back in, phased out, phased in. Because come the 1970s, maybe about the 1970s or 80s or so. Well, 1970s, yeah, we moved on to 8-track tapes. Remember 8-track tapes? Holy shit, alright, I gotta look this up too, okay. When were 8-track, shit, I can't even spell, tapes? I want to say the 1960, nah, I don't even know what the fuck I typed in there. Okay, so the Stereo 8 cartridge was created in 1964. Okay, so I was definitely off. So yeah, 8-track cartridge. That was invented. Let's see. Okay, yeah, the mid 1960s. So we want to say 1964. 8 tracks were invented. The 8-track tapes. They were something else too. I was one of the fortunate ones back when I was younger. I was using and playing 8-track tapes. My dad, he had this whole small case full of 8-track tapes. I'm talking, the Elvis Presley, Beach Boys, Jim Croce, all kind of shit in there. And then I was unfortunate, like I had a stereo. I had a stereo that my great uncle gave me. And I wish I could find something like it again. It was truly something else. It was something out of the 1980s or so, It stood about, 4 feet tall. Maybe a little over 4 feet tall. And it had a cabinet inside. Well, the bottom half of the whole unit was the speaker itself. And it produced a good quality sound. It was loud too. And then in the center of it, right above the speaker, you had the console itself, the whole, the unit itself, which controlled the 8-track, the AM, FM, and right above that, in a little cabinet, sat a turntable. So this thing was an all-in-one. It was a great big cabinet. It had a record player, AM, FM, 8-track. Sadly, it didn't have cassette, because I guess around that time, you didn't think of adding a cassette player to something like that. I remember playing cassette tapes back in the day. But this thing here, I had an unfortunate event. I was playing an 8-track tape, and the player ate the tape. Remember back in the days when you had an 8-track or a cassette tape or even a VHS or whatever, and you're playing it, and then the fucking player that you got it in eats the goddamn tape. It's where the tape gets caught up in the coils and shit. Then you got to take the whole thing apart and pull the tape out and then wind it back into the cassette. That was always a pain in the ass. Unfortunately for me, the stereo I had playing 8-track on it, I couldn't do that. So I literally had to cut the film and then pull it out from there. And I still ain't told my dad to this day. I mean, he don't have 8-tracks anymore, but damn, that was unfortunate. That was the only time I was able to play 8-tracks. And I was just scared to put an 8-track tape in there. I was scared to do it. So then, CDs and cassettes. Okay, so when were cassette? I want to say the 1970s. I want to say the 1970s. Nope, 1962. So 1962. So cassette tapes were out 2 years before 8-track. Okay, so cassette tapes were invented by Philips in Belgium. I didn't know they were in Belgium. Okay, Philips they were first developed by Philips Company in 1962 in Belgium. So cassette tapes were around, oh my God, 61 years. So 61 years ago, cassette tapes were invented. And then 59 years ago, 8-track tapes were invented. 146 years ago, vinyl records were invented. Thomas Edison. Now, let's look at the compact discs. Let's see. When were CDs invented? 1982. 1982. So 8-track tapes, compact discs, CDs. They're 41 years old. 41 years ago, they were invented. And that is all your physical media right there. Vinyl records, 8 tracks, cassette tapes, audio CDs. That was your way of listening to music back in the day. When you grew up, what did you guys start out with listening? Let us know. How did you start out listening to music? And I'm pretty sure for the younger generation, it's probably LimeWire or Kazaa. Don't worry, that's fine. I evolved to that state too. I evolved to using, PvP networks for that. Or P2P, whatever the fuck it is. I think it has P2P, peer-to-peer. But when I was younger, it was always a treat. My dad, I wasn't open to too much music back in the day growing up. Not until I hit middle school, But back in the day, my dad, he had a slew of records. He had 45s, he had 33 and a thirds, he had vinyls. He had 8 tracks, he had 2 or 3 big cases of cassette tapes, he had very few CDs. This is how I was listening to my music. I was open up to a lot of different artists, but this was all like 50s, 60s, and 70s music, which I still listen to today. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with listening to oldies. Don't ever feel embarrassed or feel like, oh, that's not my kind of music. It may not be your music. That's cool. But there are people out there that listen to that stuff and take appreciation for music in that way. Especially when it comes to physical media. I'm one that takes appreciation to how music is presented to you. Especially when it comes to records or even cassettes. I played records back in the day. I had my one experience with an 8-track. Hell, even when I hit middle school, early, like late elementary school, early middle school, I had my own boombox. Remember boomboxes? God, they were a fucking thing back in the day. Portable radios, I call them boomboxes. I had this nice boombox. It was a Philips Magnavox. And I got it for my birthday one year. I was so hyped for it. I would see it in like a fucking magazine. It was like a little brochure. It was like a little brochure that comes with the newspaper. Remember when you get newspapers every day or every weekend, and it would have a bunch of those little brochures for like Walmart, Kmart, Ames, and all that shit. And I would see it in there, and it caught my eye, and I was kind of like hinting around. I was like, I want this radio. I like it. And my parents got it for me for my birthday. I think it was my 11th I think it was my 12th or 13th birthday when I got it. And I was so hyped for it. I was so happy that, that they got it for me, and I was so grateful. And I used the hell out of that radio. It came with a cassette player, it came with a CD player, AM, FM, max bass boost on it. Had a button you pushed to add a little bit more bass to it. I loved that thing. I really did. And I even would go out with whatever allowance I had or whatever, and I would buy blank cassette tapes. I would buy blank cassette tapes and I would record songs off the radio and shit. You know, that was my library back then. You know, today you got YouTube and Amazon and Apple. You know, just like 20 years ago, you had Napster and LimeWire and BearShare. Back then, I had the radio. I had cassette tapes. I was making mixed tapes. But then, of course, there was always a challenge trying to record that one song. You'd be sitting there listening to the radio, and then your one song would come on, and you would skip out maybe like, I don't know, the first few seconds of the song intro, and you would hit record, and you got the whole song right there, you know? I never recorded any of the infomercials or commercials or anything like that, you know? It was always stop and start or pause, you know? But that was my physical media that back then. That was my collection of music. And then when I got into the era of Napster, I was in, I want to say 7th or 8th, I want to say 8th grade. I was in 8th grade. And a friend of mine around the corner was telling me about Napster. He was like, I got to download music on my computer for free. Like, really? He said, yeah, you don't need a CD or anything. You don't have to buy CDs. You can just download music. And I was like, how do you do that? So he told me about Napster. He gave me the website. But then, you know, the one hard thing I learned, and this is where I was starting to get more and more into learning about computers. And I didn't even know that downloading music would take up space on your hard drive. Like, I had a small hard drive and I was downloading music and I was trying to download more and more songs. I'm like, I'm out of hard drive space. And I told him that. He said, yeah, you got to watch that. You would have to delete some stuff too. I was like, oh, that sucks. But then I started thinking, you know, because, you know, he was telling me about it. So that year for my birthday also, for my computer, I got a CD burner. You know, my dad bought me a CD burner and he installed it in the PC. So I was downloading music and I was burning it on the CDs. Now, granted, there was a little downside to that, because sometimes, depending on the audio file, maybe the CD quality, maybe the way the software was, I don't know. Some songs I would burn on the CDs, they would sound like the fucking Chipmunks were singing. The audio on the song itself would be sped up, like, I don't know, by 5 or 10%. And I'm like, what the hell? And every CD I would make, there would probably be like 1 or 2, maybe 3 songs like that. I was like, well, that song's fucking ruined, but I'll keep it on the computer or whatever, you know? But that was the evolution of my library, too. Then when I got a newer computer, which had a bigger hard drive on it, I took advantage of it. I reinstalled Napster. I had all my music downloaded again. And I had a library. I'm not talking hundreds or thousands, but I had a good library of songs that I liked. And it was all at my demand. It was all at the click of the finger. The only downside, of course, at times, when it comes to programs like Napster, for the most part, you gotta be connected to the internet to download it. And our internet was dial-up. Anybody use dial-up back in the day? You know, you had your phone line, or you connected to the family phone line, and you would get on there. You know, there was like about 1.5 minutes of that shit. And then you're hoping mom didn't need it to use the fucking phone, or she would boot you off, or she would get this loud dial tone on the phone. She'd be like, get off the phone, I need to make a call, you know? But luckily for programs like Napster, you could actually go in offline mode to listen to the music. So you didn't really need to be online to listen to it. You can log offline. You can still access the media library. The only thing that you really needed to be online for was downloading the music and chat rooms. That was another new thing, sort of, back in the day. Like, I'm pretty sure chat rooms were a thing before Napster, but Napster added their own chat room. You can meet with people in there. You could chat about music. You can discuss music. You can ask them questions about this and that. But there was times where the chat room was kind of abused. You got people in there sex talking and sexting and all this shit in there, and it's like, god damn. People are fucking meeting their girlfriends and their future wives in there, you know? That was the good old days of Napster. But then, of course, come time where Mission Impossible 2 was just about to release in theaters. And along with that was the soundtrack. Soundtrack is very boss. You know, it's got some amazing tracks on there from Limp Bizkit, Metallica, Rob Zombie, Butthole Surfers, Chris Cornell. It was a banging soundtrack. And this soundtrack had one particular song that Metallica did that was never released on any other other albums. And when this song made radio airplay, and they haven't even really released it to the public yet, and they're like, how is our song on the radio? How's it out there? It hasn't even come out yet. We haven't even announced it yet. So when they found out that people were sharing this file on Napster, that's when the whole lawsuit began. Metallica versus Napster. They had a legit lawsuit against them. You know, yes, I agree at the time. You know, I'll admit at the time, I kind of disliked Metallica, even though I didn't really listen to them at the time. But I was like, yeah, fuck Metallica. Like, I love using Napster. Napster, I'm able to open my world up to music. I'm downloading music. I'm not going out and wasting money on whole CDs just for one or two songs. And that was a thing everybody did back in the day. It was like a hobby or a fad. You know, everybody, there'd be that one band, and you would have two good songs. You didn't care about the rest of the fucking shit on the album. You only cared about those two songs. You would pay $20 for a CD for two songs. That's a ripoff right there. So that's why people started using programs like Napster and LimeWire and all. They didn't have to worry about buying whole albums. But then again, you know, the music companies, the artists, they were losing royalties on that because people were downloading music and shit. So, artists were trying to keep up with, trying to keep a paycheck. Making new music, doing concerts, putting on shows, all kind of stuff. They were trying to play catch up, And Napster was kind of killing it off, but, when one dies, it's like a phoenix. The phoenix rises from the ashes. Then you got other softwares that arise. You got software like LimeWire, BearShare, Kazaa. I used all that shit up until, I think, 2014, 2015, when, like, LimeWire finally died off. That's around when it kind of finally died off, though. But you got to think, people were using P2P networking servers to share music. And not just music. This is also how videos were shared as well. People were sharing porn videos, even if they were like 30-second to a minute porn videos. People were sharing that. Sharing music videos. There was music videos floating around on Napster and LimeWire and all. People were downloading videos. And then it became a thing of, well, slowly, after so many years, people were sharing software. So it was amazing how networks like this were getting away with, sharing music, software, photos, and even movies and videos. Thus, the digital age was born. Thanks to programs like Napster and LimeWire and BearShare and Kazaa and whatever else you guys used out there. Because of those, and because of people like us who continue to use those softwares to do what we were doing, the digital era was born. We invented the digital era, people. It wasn't companies that were like, let's try something new. Let's invent this. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's make lives easier. We made our own lives easier. Somebody out there created these programs. We used them continuously, and it evolved our media greatly. Then, people were they were buying Apple iPods. They were buying MP3 players, even CD players. People were buying CD players that were able to play MP3 or WMA files. Whether you're ripping a CD to the computer or downloading a song from the software, you were able to copy these files to a regular CD, and you had more room to it. It added more room. A typical CDR holds 700 megabytes of data. Your standard typical song file is anywhere between 3 to 5 megs big. Made it easy. Oh, Black Mesa Cake, welcome to the show. Yeah, we made it easier, but when we were trying to get the hot new Linkin Park song featuring Eminem and Christina Aguilera, and we ended up with Bill Clinton telling us that he went to some website. Yeah, that was a thing too. Like back in 2004, and somebody thought they were being clever. Okay, I was looking forward to the new Stain album at the time, 14 Shades of Grey, and I had just heard the song So Far Away, and I fell in love with the band. You know, I wanted their CD. But every song that I was downloading, it was only excerpts of the songs being looped over and over again, which did kind of force me to buy in the album, and I listened to it, and I loved the entire album too. But that was just a minor hiccup in the system right there, where people thought they were, the newest, hottest Metallica song is out. Even they did it with even Metallica. Metallica Saint Anger, when that came out, they did the same thing. They took a piece of the song, looped it to where it plays over and over again, and it's like, this can't be the entire song, though. It can't be. So, that's when, media was evolving. We had, digital media. And they just pretty much gave up. At that point, artists were struggling. They said they were struggling. Okay. I can see if they were really, really struggling. They wanted people, hey, buy our CDs. Our CDs are like $20, $25. Buy a cassette tape for a little bit less than that, But then, as I was stating before, people were buying CDs for maybe 1 or 2 songs. And the rest of it was just hot garbage to them, So, in my eyes at the time, I'm like, why would I put out $20 for one song when I could download one song using this software for free? I mean, how much damage am I really doing to the market? How much damage am I really doing to these people that are making the music for us? You still got a fan base that still will go out and purchase the CD. They're still making CD sales. They're still making sales of CDs. But they were looking to people like us who were downloading the stuff for free and saying, you're killing our business. You're killing us off. You're costing us money. But funny, sorry to say, you guys look like you're still pretty wealthy to me. You guys are still racking in the dollars. You're still, you're racking in the sales. You're selling CDs. You're selling DVDs, concert DVDs and shit. You're still selling out concerts. People are still going to see your shows. You guys are still making money somewhere. So you're crying over somebody downloading your music, whether it's 1 or 2 songs. So let's say there's like 4 billion people in the United States right now. And you make, I don't know, probably about 400 million CDs, and you've got to still process it. You got to still keep continuing to make music, to continue making copies of CDs and stuff, Let's say out of 4 billion people, only maybe, I don't know, 60 to 65%, maybe 70% of those people were using Napster to download your music. And they only downloaded maybe 1 or 2 songs. You're still going to be banking off of that shit because the remainder are buying your CDs, or maybe they haven't heard of you, or maybe they don't like you guys. Whoever you may be. But the point is, the artists are still banking off of it. The artists are still making money off of this too. Now, am I saying downloading music is the right way to go? No. I'm not saying it's the right way to go. It just made it convenient for people a lot younger. And I was young. I was in middle school. I was in high school. I didn't have a proper allowance. I wasn't going to the mall every single weekend checking out new music and shit. I wasn't much of an MTV baby. I didn't really watch much of MTV to open up. Now, I did watch maybe about 15 minutes of it in the morning before going to school, and I would see, okay, the new Eminem song, Without Me. Remember when that came out? God, I was in, what was I in? Fucking 10th or 11th grade when that album came out. The Eminem Show. I was like, damn, now I gotta remember how that song went so when I come home I could download it. Like, in my mind, okay, maybe he's got another album coming out or something, or, you know, he's gonna have more songs, but I like that song, so I come home and I download the song. I don't have $20-some to buy the CD right now, but I do like the song. But you know what? A couple months later, when I did get a little allowance for working, I went to the mall. I remember exactly where I went. It was Sam Goody. We had a Sam Goody in the mall down here. And I saw the album, The Eminem Show. I went ahead, I picked it up and bought it. So yes, I did buy the CD. Even though I had it downloaded, you know, a couple songs, I still bought the CD. I listened to it and I enjoyed it very much. It's one of my favorite Eminem albums to this date. I still prefer the Slim Shady LP, you know, the old school stuff right there. But yeah, I still have that stuff. I have it ripped onto a hard drive, you know, backed up and all. But then I also know that one day, if I don't keep updating my hard drives and switching stuff over, those files could get corrupted. They can get deleted by accident. But then there's also ways I can still download it from the internet too. So, you know, that still is a thing of this day. People still do download music from the internet. There's ways of doing it too. I have a program that downloads YouTube videos. You guys don't know how many YouTube videos I have downloaded for my personal allowance. You know, like just certain channels I enjoy watching, certain videos I enjoy watching. I download them. I don't re-upload the stuff. Oh, hell no. I download them because I enjoy watching them, because one day YouTube's going to be gone and you're not going to be able to find these gems anymore. But I can still watch them because I got them downloaded. But also, the software that I have, I can extract the audio file from these videos. So if there's a music video that pops up and I like the song, I could just download it, extract the MP3 data from it. Boom, I have music downloaded. So there are ways, there's websites, there's programs out here. It keeps evolving. It just keeps going and going and going. People will always find a way to download media in a form. And people will always find a way of listening to the stuff. Same thing with watching. You know, physical media, it may be coming to an end here real soon, though. You know, the era of digital media started in the early 2000s. You know, when people started downloading music and distributing it and sharing it on networks. It evolved. But you know what also good it did for people? What good it did for, you know, people that make movies and make music? It blasted the whole world wide open. Like, there's so many artists that I've learned about over the last 20 years that I've never heard of. Maybe there's that one song that I remember listening to or continue to hear, and I don't know who sings it, but I like that song. There's ways of looking it up. I'll pull up a search engine and I'll type in a lyric line from the song, and then I'll go look it up on YouTube, and sure as shit, there it is. Now I can have that song, I can download it, and I can have it for my own. Today, the internet is very vast and wide to discoveries. You know, I'm discovering a lot of shit every day, a lot of new shit every day. Music has evolved, you know, in a sad sense. You know, I'm still sticking to what I grew up with, and I feel like you ever get those days where you start listening to music nowadays and it starts to sound like shit, and then you reminisce back to the days when you were in high school and all, you remember how good the music was, quote unquote, how good it was. Now we're starting to sound like our parents and our grandparents, you know? Every generation, we're starting to sound like our parents. Like, It's not as good as I remember back in my day. Now's that time period. Now things are starting to evolve. Now, even some of my favorite bands are moving over to this new electro metal shit. I'm like, oh, that's fucking garbage. I'll stick with your older stuff, thank you. And so many bands have fucking done it too, you know. Fucking, I'm upset. Like Papa Roach has done it. Seven Dust has done it. Oh my god, who the fuck else? I don't even fucking know. But you know, like back on topic, like media has gradually changed within the last 20 years with how we view it and listen to it, especially how we are able to obtain it. You know, remember when Redbox and Netflix were starting to distribute DVDs in the mail and had that box sitting out front of the 7-Eleven and you could rent a fucking movie for $1 a night and shit and then return it and all? Hell, now I can fucking find that movie on the internet. I have apps to find that movie. I can just watch this shit for free, you know? I may not be able to download the fucking movies, but I can still watch them. People still watch that shit. Look at, those little Amazon boxes. Oh shit, the ones that people jailbreak. I forgot. I'm a loss of words right now. But those little things that you connect to the TV, it's from Amazon. People jailbreak those to download certain apps on them. And you can watch movies, any movie, any TV show, sports event, porno, whatever. You can watch anything on that motherfucker for free. As long as you update the software every so often. But there's all kind of different ways today that we can access our media. Video games are even part of the trend too. You know how far we've come from the video game industry, you know, with the video game industry, you know how far we've come? 1971-72, we had the Magnavox Odyssey, which was just it was a fucking box that had two controllers that were attached to it. You couldn't disconnect them. And you had this little fucking card that you put into the slot and it turns it on, and you got two dots on your fucking screen. And you had to put layouts on your TV to make the games and shit. That was your entertainment back in the day. And then the Atari came out. You know, you put a cartridge in, you hit a switch, boom, your game's up on the screen, and thus the video game industry, you know, it started booming. You know, you had Pong consoles, you had home consoles, you know, like Atari, NES, Atari had different ones, Nintendo had different ones, you know, Sega came in the market, and then Sony came into the market in the 90s, and then, you know, Microsoft came into the market in the early 2000s, and video game consoles are still evolving. Every new generation of video games evolves greatly. Whether it's the software or the hardware, now we're at the point where we can stream video games. If you have a good, constant, consistent network that can run video game data over the network. But yeah, you can now stream video games over a cloud server. I have a subscription service I pay $18 a month for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, where I have, not only do I have access to hundreds of free games under Game Pass, but I can also play games online with it. I have access to that library on my console, my PC, and my mobile device. So I could, if I'm on the go and I want to play an Xbox game through Game Pass, I have my phone. I can cloud that shit with my phone. If I need a controller, well, guess what? I got an Xbox One controller, wireless. Put a battery in it, hook it up via Bluetooth. I got Xbox on the go. That's how video games have evolved so greatly. And they've taken their time with this shit. And it's like not only that, but also within the last, I don't know what, 15 years? 15, close to 20 years. We've had digital content, downloadable content. You were able to download games through the Xbox Marketplace, the PlayStation Marketplace. Well, the PlayStation Store, they called it. You know, you were able to download stuff, even special content for certain video games you were downloading, and now you're downloading whole games. Today, you could pre-order a fucking game digitally, install it on your console, and then day one, when the game is available, of course, you'll probably have to download a day one patch or update, but at midnight, if your game is good to go, you can start it right up. It'd be like if you went to, oh my God, remember when GameStop had midnight launches? And I think they're slowly coming back too, but only for certain games. I was recently at a GameStop the other day, and I heard somebody was pre-ordering something, and then the clerk at the register was talking about midnight releases. And I was like, oh wow, I see midnight launches are starting to come back. He said, yeah, but it's only for certain games. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, that's how it was back in the day. But for how long, though? For how long? Like, to me, and I've been to about 5 midnight launches at GameStop. It was fun. One of my good buddies that lives in the area, that's how I met him. We were at a midnight launch for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And that's how we met. And we went to a couple others since then. And it was fun just interacting with people, talking about games and shit, hanging out there for 2 hours, waiting in line, waiting to get in to get that game that you got pre-ordered. That was always so much fun, you know? Like, those are the days I really do miss when it comes to physical media. It's not just owning a physical copy of something. It's about interactions with people. You know, I was making friends. I was having fun. You know, I was interacting with people. We were having a good old joyous time. We were talking about video games and movies and shit. That was always a fun thing. It was always so good with that interaction. Nowadays, people want to fucking distance themselves and be what is it, extroverts or introverts or whatever the fuck they are, where they don't want to fucking associate with anybody. They don't want to go outside. They just want to sit inside and be to themselves. So now you got people that are like that, you know? But in order to get their games now, it's like, well, I don't want to go out, but hey, the game's going to release digitally on my console. I can pre-order it, pre-install it, whatever. Day one at midnight, I'm right on it. So yeah, games have become such a market with the digital era. And now it's starting to phase out physical media. It's almost like the companies are going, why are we making physical discs anymore anyway? When we got numbers of people that are downloading the content digitally. You're buying a copy of the license for the game digitally. But we'll make these promises. We'll say, okay, let's say you bought, what's a game that's being delisted? Okay, there's a game called Second Extinction. It's on PC and Xbox. I'm not too sure about PlayStation. It's a pretty good game. I only played it a couple times. I've been meaning to get back into playing it, but I haven't. It's getting delisted now. It's being delisted from the Xbox store. Which means when it's delisted, if you ain't bought the game yet, tough shit, you ain't going to get it now. There's no way of buying it now because it's delisted. Even though they're going to shut the servers down on it next year because the developer doesn't want to work on the game anymore. And people may be enjoying the game though. But you got companies that are like, nah, we feel like you're not enjoying it. You're not loving it. We're going to take the servers down, but thank you for your support though. So you're delisting the game. So then not only, let's say you bought the game. Okay, you bought the game. They delist it from the store. But you still own a copy of the game though. You still own it though. So that's a promise they do make to people. It's like if you buy the digital media, you still own it. You will be able to uninstall it and reinstall it, whatever. But there's a catch. If it's an online only game, And when they shut the servers down, that's it. You paid $30 or $40 for a fucking shell of a game. Something where you're not going to be able to play it online anymore. You just wasted $30 or $40. That is the sad age of digital right there. You buy something digital and you can no longer access it. You can no longer play it. You can't interact with it. It just sits there. It's just this little box icon on your screen. Whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, or even Switch. It's this little box icon that reminds you that you've just wasted money that you can't get back. That you've wasted that time and money on it. Just for them to discontinue that product. And that's the sad thing with digital games. With physical games, it's different. Physical, you can take that shit anywhere. You can sell that shit. You got a copy of Overwatch? Shit, you can take it back to GameStop, but you only get maybe about 5 cents for it. Because guess what? Overwatch is no more. There is no Overwatch anymore. There is, however, Overwatch 2. So for that particular game right there, the company, the developers of that game, I think it's Blizzard. Yeah, Blizzard made Overwatch. So when Overwatch 2 came out, rather than just make 2 separate games, they fused one game in with the other. So they changed the coding around with Overwatch and they made it Overwatch 2. There is no more Overwatch. But all the content that you had in Overwatch 1, it does carry over into Overwatch 2. But that's what I'm saying. It's like a double-edged sword. You buy Overwatch 1, right? You buy it digital. Well, Overwatch is no more, but guess what? You get Overwatch 2 for free because the game changed into Overwatch 2. So you still keep your content and all, but it's a whole new game. But it's still yours. Now, if you got it physically and you try to sell that shit, you're only going to get maybe about, 10 cents at GameStop. Try selling that game to somebody on Facebook Marketplace. I want $20 for Overwatch. And then somebody buys it and puts it in, installs it. And they're like, what the fuck? Overwatch? I didn't buy Overwatch 2. What the fuck is it? And they pull a discount. Overwatch? Yeah, it says Overwatch. Why does it say Overwatch 2? Somebody bought it, didn't know anything about how fucking video games evolve and shit. They know nothing about that. So then they go back to you and like, I want my $20 back. You sold me Overwatch, but it's got Overwatch 2. Oh yeah, they changed the coding, so it's not really Overwatch anymore. It's Overwatch 2, but you do got the disc. But then that's why you got people that collect the shit. People will collect physical media just to collect it. To build up their library and say, yeah, I got that sitting right up there on my shelf. Yep, there's Overwatch. Beautiful game. Love playing it. 10 out of 10, you know? That's all it is. It becomes shelfware. That's all. It's shelfware. It sits on your shelf. It's a collector's item. That's all it is at this point. But when it comes to, even movies, movies have evolved greatly with the digital era. Like I said, in the early days of Napster, LimeWire, Kazaa, all that stuff. In those early days, you got people out there that are downloading clips of movies, they're downloading music videos, they're downloading all kind of shit, people. They're downloading a whole bunch of different media. And it soon evolved. People were downloading movies, and then you got the MPAA, the RIAA, and all that fucker shit. You got them all cracking down on people. Oh, you're downloading movies, huh? Well, let's find out how many movies you got on grandma's computer. Remember that case? There was one elderly woman she had these charges filed against her because her grandson downloaded movies that totaled over $200,000 fucking dollars in damages. I don't know if she ever paid it out, but goddamn, they were cracking down on people. And it wasn't everybody, though. They were only getting certain people. They could only do certain people because there's only so much you can do. There was even one time, and there was actually 2 instances where I downloaded something. And then, of course, what was it? Verizon contacted us and was like, hey, we got on our network that you were downloading this movie from this website, da 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 da. If this is a mistake, please let us know. And I'd be like, no, I never heard of that. But then you know what they would do? They'd be like, okay, we can just, we'll unlock your system, but you might want to change your password because somebody may be on your network. You may want to lock your network down. You might have been hacked. Okay, that's good enough for me. Bye. That's all you would do. You just change the password, Show that you're changing the password. You keep it up with it, But after that, I was careful with what I downloaded. I was really careful with what I downloaded after that. But there was always something with them, Alright, so it looks like I'm having a little bit of issues. So I'm going to take a quick break, guys. We're just about an hour in. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far. When I come back, we'll continue more about physical media, so hang tight.
He works in the movies, Dad. It's Melanie's Mall. I'm Melanie. These are my friends, the magic malls where the fun begins. Do you like doing things that most girls do? It's cool at the mall. It's cool at the mall.
Melanie's Mall has all the cool stores. Hang out with friends and shop for everything.
Wow!
It comes with 2 levels, a revolving door, and an escalator that really works.
Here's Melanie.
Add your favorite stores like a makeup shop to make Melanie glamorous. Then there's the ballet studio and give Melanie a new look at the fancy gown shop and some great new styles at the beauty salon.
Awesome hairdo. It's cool at the mall.
Head to the surf shop for the hottest swimsuits.
Great bikini.
There's even a music store.
Cool tunes.
At as many stores as you like.
It's cool at the mall. Melanie, new friends and you. Having fun doing what most girls do. At the Magic Mall, you'll see it's true. It's cool at the mall.
A Melanie doll comes with each store. Some stores and dolls sold separately. From Cap Toys. Batteries not included.
Got video games on the brain at night?
Well, wake up! And enter the Fox Kids Flight into Night sweepstakes. Prepare to fly, because you can win a Sega Saturn with every piece of Saturn software, including the game Night. That's just the start of your flying adventure, because we're also going to fly you to Tokyo, Japan, to play all day and night at Sega's joyful and high-tech theme park. 50 lucky others will win their own Sega Saturn and Night's game. Get a postcard with your name and address by September 27th to Fox Kids Flight into Night. P.O. Box 1129, Los Angeles 90078. Nighttime will never be the same.
All new next Saturday.
I don't think we're gonna make it, Dad.
He's so cool, he's the bomb.
Fresh.
Got a little brother, just tagged along.
Can we leave him in the car?
Check it out, turn him on. Louie, he's the bomb. Catch the season premiere of Life with Louie, 9:30 next Saturday morning on Fox Kids.
Now back to our show. We'll be right back. 10 minutes. My public awaits.
Is the Fox ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, then. We need 6 cups of coffee, 3 tunas on rye, 4 fries, and a tea. No lemon. Any questions?
Just one. Are you sure the mouse started this way?
Trust me, kid. You'll go far.
Next Saturday, Fox Kids is kicking off its new fall season Saturday lineup. First, it's heavy hitting fun with Seabear and Jamal at 7 a.m. Then, an all-new Big Bad Beetleborgs at 7:30. 8, an all-new Casper. Web up at 8:30 for the season premiere of Spider-Man. 9, an all-new Goosebumps. 9:30, the season premiere of Life with Louie. All-new X-Men action at 10. And 10:30, the ultimate question of the Tick's disappearance is answered with the season premiere of The Tick. Next Saturday, with lots of new shows, Fox Kids is the extreme.
And we are back, guys. 1 hour into the show, 1 hour into the podcast. I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like the chat disconnected over there on YouTube, and everything was kind of freezing up and dying off. I'm not too sure what was going on, but luckily everything is back to normal. Everything is back to normal. So hopefully you guys refreshed your browsers and you guys are back listening with us. And if you guys are just now joining into the stream, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're watching us on kick.com/Arrow Entertainment and twitch.tv/Arrow with a name. Hit that like, well, hit the follow button down below. I don't know why I said like. There is no like button on Twitch and Kick. So anyway, we were talking about digital media, the evolution of digital media, and how it's affecting us today. So games are now digital. You can now download and buy games digitally from anywhere. I mean, you could do it on your cell phones too, cell phones and tablets. I mean, you're not going to be able to stick a CD in your cell phone to install a game, are you? Or a chip or something, you know? Everything's digital in there. But we're talking about video game consoles with physical gaming. So now you got a way of downloading games, whether you purchase them or you get them free from a subscription service such as Game Pass or maybe something on PlayStation, you know, PlayStation Play or whatever they got over there. I don't know what their services are that they offer over there. But either way, people are getting digital media whether we like it or not. Because it's easier, it's more convenient to people rather than going out and buying games and having games just pile up on your TV stand or take up a whole shelf, you know, like people. So there's a lot of people out there that do, like I said, collect physical media for reasons. There's nothing wrong with that. Like somebody like me, if I was into collecting, you know, physical media, if I had the room, if I had a spare room somewhere where I was like, yeah, this is my man cave, you know, I like collecting this stuff, you know, this is my big collection of movies and stuff, I would do that. But sadly, I don't have that, you know, I do not have that convenience. Like right now, I have well over 700 games digital on my Xbox that I can install. If I want to choose to install it, you know, I can install it, transfer it to hard drives, whatever. But I can always load it up at my convenience. If I want to swap out a game, you know, if I'm done playing a certain game and maybe a buddy of mine's like, hey, you want to hop on this? Yeah, sure. Just close the game out, scroll down the list, pick the one game we're playing and load it up. There's always that convenience of having digital. Then there's always convenience of cloud servers, but cloud isn't 100% perfect itself. I will say that. I do like using cloud at times if I really want to get on it and play something in particular. But the cloud network isn't always promising when it comes to loading up your software. I've had times where it was just time out or not load up at all. It happens with cloud servers. They're not perfect. They're still evolving those. They're still working with those. You know, the way we interact with physical media or any kind of media today, it's evolving. Not rapidly, but it is gradually evolving. We're watching movies on wireless networks. We have, you know, networks like Netflix and Hulu and Peacock. We got networks for music. Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever we listen to music on. Same thing with video games. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. I'm pretty sure Switch will get into the age of cloud networking too, when they're able to work with it. But there's always a downside when it comes to digital media. What if you got people that have poor internet connections? What if they live in rural areas where they don't have an internet connection? Or they have a very poor internet connection? Or the internet connection continuously goes out? You're not going to be playing, watching, or listening to anything then. That's the downside. That's the downside of digital media when you're accessing it via internet. And that's the biggest problem with digital media, is if you require an internet connection somewhere. You require some kind of network connection to access that information. Let's say you bought 100 fucking movies and you want to binge them in the weekend. Internet conked out. You're not watching those 100 movies now, are you? You could try everything to reset your router and shit. You could call your network company, your provider, and they say, oh, you got the internet, you got the outage in your area, but thank you for calling. We will dispatch someone as soon as they are available. Maximum amount of wait, minimum amount of wait is 2 days. That's what you get. So then you got your neighbor who's collecting all this shit physical, and they're like, well, you bought these 100 movies digital and you can't watch them? I got them all on DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, Laserdisc, IED, CED, whatever, 8mm film. You want to fucking binge with me? Come on over. We'll watch this shit together. Who the fuck needs the internet? But like I said, that is the downside of digital media. Yes, I am part of that trend. I watch movies and TV shows digitally. I play games digitally. I listen to music digitally. But I also got a backup too. Now, I don't own DVDs and Blu-ray. I only got maybe a selection of Blu-rays and DVDs that I can't find anywhere else or buy digitally. But I had a whole case of DVDs. And I gave them to Goodwill because I was cleaning out bins and shit. I wasn't watching them. I didn't have space for them, so I gave them all to Goodwill. That was a stupid move on my end. It really was. And all because I'm a minimalist. I'm a minimalist for items. I don't hoard items. I don't collect items to just have them. I try to be a minimalist because I feel claustrophobic when I'm around so much shit cluttered up, you know? Just like I'm a neat, organized person, I gotta be in a clean, organized area. I can't control I can't concentrate or live in an area that's controlled by garbage or clutter, you know? I'm a neat freak. But yeah, physical media, it has its perks. It really does. Remember back in the 90s when Blockbuster came out? Then you had your mom and pop stores that come out around that time and before then. And they were distributing VHS movies, renting them out. Wasn't it always a joy every Friday night, every Saturday night, whether you're with your spouse, whether you're alone, or whether you're with the whole family, and you go out to a video store and you're looking down the aisles for something to watch that weekend, something good, maybe a good comedy, maybe a very scary horror movie, maybe you're an action man, maybe you and your spouse want something with a little bit of drama, a little bit of romance. Those were your early days of Netflix and chill. There was no Netflix and chill. You grabbed the VHS tape, you went home, you maybe watched half the fucking movie, and then you were fucking in a closet or something, you know? Those were the fucking days. But yeah, back in the day, it was always a joy. Go into a video store, gleaming down them aisles, looking at all those covers, and you're like, man, I want to watch that. No, I want to watch that. I only got $20 on me. And I can only get maybe 2-3 movies. And you spend a half hour in there looking around what you want to fucking watch. What's your preference of watching? And then you find it, you go up to the checkout, you're like, okay, give me a bag of popcorn, give me some chitlets or whatever the fuck I don't know what the fuck, like those little fucking pieces of gum or whatever. Give me some Mike and Ike's, whatever they had. You know, you would buy some stuff, you would take it home, you watch your movies, and then you bring them back, and you got to make sure you rewind the VHS tape so you're being courteous to the next person who rents it out. But those were the days, man, that DVDs came along. You know, you didn't have to worry about rewinding DVDs. Make sure it's not scratched up, make sure it's placed back in the box, and then bring it back. But then when, you know, companies like Netflix and Redbox where they had their little boxes out by Rite Aids and grocery stores and Walmarts and 7-Elevens. And then they even had the mail-in DVDs. Go online and pick whatever movie you want. We'll mail it out to you. That was shit right there. I did that with GameFly. I sent a game back through GameFly. They never received it. I had to email and call them and say, I mailed it back 3 weeks ago, and y'all didn't receive it. So they took it off my account, which was good. But that's what happens. You know, you can get something in the mail, send it back, and it would get lost somewhere in the mail. Yeah, that was like an inconvenience with the mail and shit there. That's why I did it once. I said, no, fuck this. But with the way media has been evolving, and what did Blockbuster in, what did them in, was the fact that they eliminated late charges and shit. They eliminated late charges with their movies, and that was costing them great. It was costing them greatly. And I think it was the same thing with Hollywood Video. I remember back right after high school, I got a membership card with Hollywood Video. I shit you not, 7 fucking months later, they were closing the store down. I was like, God damn it. Right when I get a fucking membership with y'all, you want to fucking close up shop. Damn. Ain't that a better bitch? But yeah, those types of stores, they were closing down. You know, people were still buying movies. They still buy movies to this day. But now it's more of an inconvenience. It's more of a convenience. It's more of a convenience to pull up something like Peacock or Hulu, and your movie's right there. And all you gotta do is pay a fee of what? $6.99 a month, $8.99 a month, $10.99 a month. And now with them adding more and more movies, and of course they're in 4K, now they gotta up the price. Netflix is up to what, $20 fucking a month? And they don't have every fucking movie available? That's one downfall with these services. Hulu, you know, like, yes, I understand. They pay for certain licenses to put on their platforms. But their servers can only hold so much. Their servers can only hold so fucking much. They can't add every single thing to their servers. Because let me tell you something right now. There are still movies and TV shows that are lost in time. That you can find on Laserdisc. That you can find on Beta and VHS. Maybe even very early states of DVD. There is media out there that is lost in time. Same thing with video games. That is always the fear of people who do collecting, who enjoy watching movies and playing games and listening to music. There is stuff lost in time. And it's all because of how digital media has been evolved. You know, there is movies out there that I still would love to see that are from like maybe the 1950s, 60s, 70s. Some good fucking movies too. Maybe some obscure ones that I want to watch that are shitty as hell. You're not going to find those on Blu-ray or DVD. You're not going to find those on digital. Luckily, I can find some of those movies on YouTube. That's right, you can find an older movie right here on YouTube. And I bet a lot of you guys did not know this. Take Night of the Living Dead, the 1960 George Romero classic. Did you know that this movie is public domain? Which means anybody can take this movie, put it under their license, and distribute it. If I was a distributor, Arrow Entertainment, and I wanted to distribute Night of the Living Dead and sell it, I could. I could sell it for $5 a pop. I can burn the movie on a Blu-ray. This is from Arrow Entertainment. Night of the Living Dead. Anybody could do that. So there's a lot of older movies, there's a lot of public domain movies that you can find on YouTube or anywhere else where you search. It's amazing. Like, I'm glad we still got services. You know, we still got platforms like YouTube where you can find a lot of older content on here and you can still watch it for free. I just looked up a copy of Halloween. Now, I have Halloween on Blu-ray. Halloween 1978. I have it on Blu-ray. 35th anniversary. Or 40th, whatever it is. I think it's 40. Yeah, I think it's 40th. It'll be 45th here. So I think it's 45 years this year. I got a copy of Halloween off of YouTube that has, it's the TV version of it, which has all the deleted scenes included. I just downloaded it the other day. What I plan on doing with that, I'm going to go out in the backyard. This comes Sunday night, I'm going to be out in the backyard with my family. And I have this mini projector. And I'm going to put the movie on a flash drive connected to the projector, shine that sucker on the back of the house, sit out there and roast marshmallows, make s'mores, and we'll sit there and watch Halloween in the back of the house. Nice and cool outside, crisp air, you know. That's how you enjoy movies right there. There's your movie going experience right there. But lo and behold, it's digital media. It's on a flash drive. But it's still a good way to watch it, ain't it? But yeah, there's movies lost in time because of how physical media has evolved and how digital media has evolved. That's why to those of you who still collect physical media, you collect physical movies and such, I tip my hat to you guys. If I had the room, if I had the money to collect that shit, I would. But I tip my hat to you guys because, you know, hold on to it. Not because it may have a value in the future, but because it's still the best way to watch a movie, still the best way to listen to music, still the best way to play video games is with physical media. And it is very sad that physical media is now being phased out slowly. And this was, like I said in the beginning, this was slated 5 years in the making, where they were talking about CDs. Audio CDs were being phased out. Yes, people were starting to buy vinyl records again, but CDs were slowly being phased out. People were listening to music more and more digitally. They are subscribing to services such as YouTube Premium Music, Amazon Music, Apple Music, whatever. But here's a downside with that too. Not every platform that you listen to music on has every single song or artist that you're looking for. Let me give you an example. I listen to a lot of heavy metal, hard rock, new metal, stuff like that. There is a band that I started listening to back in 2005 called American Head Charge. Their first album, The Feeding, I want to say it was their first, it might have been the second album, or maybe mistaken. Their album, The Feeding, has some amazing songs on it. Did you know that that album is not on? It's not on any of those platforms. They don't have the rights, or there's something wrong with the rights where they can't distribute it on any of those platforms. But they can distribute their other albums on there. Same thing with this small town underrated band, Smile Empty Soul. They had their first album, their debut album, has a bunch of great hits on it. That album is nowhere on any of those platforms, but all their other albums are. So what did they do with their hits off that first album? They had to re-record them and re-release them. That's on there. So if you're looking for specific albums, you're not going to find those on Amazon Music. You're not going to find those on Apple Music. You're lucky to find them on YouTube. YouTube has just about everything, and I've found hard to find songs that I haven't heard in years on YouTube. And I'm grateful for YouTube for having, being able to find that kind of media on there and be able to enjoy it again. Because I will always say, whether it's a photograph, a video, a song, whatever, anything of that nature, when you interact with it, hundreds of memories can come flooding back. Hundreds of memories come flooding back. That's why I'm always about capturing the moment. I'm always about living in the moment and capturing the moment, because those memories aren't forever. I mean, you still got memories, but sometimes I would love to be able to relive those memories in a way. That's what I'm always about, with gathering music or movies or whatever, or photographs, anything of that nature. But getting back on point with physical media, there's some downsides to both sides of the spectrum. With physical media, the fact that you gotta take up space somewhere, clutter your room somewhere, have that spare bedroom somewhere with all them shelves and shit, and you're cluttering up all this space. Same thing with music, same thing with games, right? Cluttering up all that fucking space out there. Just collecting. But then there's people that enjoy that kind of stuff, like reminiscing, like I said, going back to video stores, looking through the video store for what you want to watch. People have their own video stores set up in their basement. They go through, they look at their VHS, a DVD, a Blu-ray collection, are like, okay, honey, what are we watching tonight? Let's go down to the basement and look what we're going to watch. You got hundreds upon hundreds of movies to go through to pull out and watch. But it's always an experience with that. It's always some kind of special experience when it comes to physical media. It's not just about owning something that you can hold in your hands and you like the way the jewel art is on the paperwork and all, and having to pull it out and just look at the back of it. It's not just about that. It's about an experience, having that experience that you've had so many years ago as a child, or maybe your parents had, or something of that nature. It's just something about the experience of interacting with a piece of physical media, of history. Something that is being discontinued now. It's being phased out. Because we gradually changed the way we listen to music. We changed the way we game. We changed the way we watch movies. It's a sad story. But getting back on topic here, and I know I rambled on for about almost an hour and a half with it, but let's go on to the article. Best Buy, along with Walmart, will stop selling physical media in 2024. Leaving Walmart and Target as the largest U.S. in-store retailers for Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K titles. Okay, so this article here, this is on MSN.com. This is from 5 days ago. Now, this one is saying that Best Buy is going to be the one that's going to stop selling physical media, but also, it was also said that Walmart's going to stop doing it too. It's the end of an era following an announcement that Best Buy is going to stop selling physical media at its stores and online in 2024. Best Buy was at one time the pinnacle epitome of the place to go for purchasing physical media, ranging from CDs, VHS, DVD, HD DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. God, remember when HD DVDs came out? They were such a thing back in the mid-2000s. Remember, even Xbox 360, they had this little peripheral that you could attach to the 360. And you could play HD DVDs. You even had special HD DVD players that were being sold in stores. But who outdid them? Blu-ray. In the end, Blu-ray won that battle. HD DVDs were only around for about, 2 or 3 years, and then they stopped making those. See how that was like the shortest living fad right there when it came to physical media, was HD DVDs. But yeah, all these, as well as a go-to for video games spanning many generations and makes of consoles and PCs. And now that will soon just be a memory. Bill Hunt of the Digital Bits first broke the news of the pivotal shift for one of America's last remaining big box tech stores. Per the Digital Bits said, "All right, folks, we got a little bit of a whopper for you today. And so, as not to bury the lead, let's get right into it. The Digital Bits learned from the industry sources, and we confirmed it with multiple sources now, that Best Buy plans to exit the physical media business for good next year, possibly as soon as the end of Q1 2024. Bill confirmed that video games and Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K movies were going to be dropped from Best Buy's physical and online stores. Not long after this exclusive news was revealed, Variety and Media Play News reached out to the retailer and were given the following statement from Best Buy representative. Here is that statement. To state the obvious, the way we watch movies and TV shows is much different today than it was decades ago. Best Buy spokesperson said in a statement to Variety, making this change gives us more space and opportunity to bring customers new and innovative tech for them to explore, discover, and enjoy. Or in my case, I'd say, put you all out of business. What is the one reason people go to Best Buy for? Video games, movies, and music. I remember going into Best Buy a couple decades ago. And I'm going to take a quick break here, guys. I'll be right back.
Pizza Hut, the comet should be dead ahead.
You did it! Congratulations, first pizza on the moon.
Thanks.
See you next time. The real Johnny Quest packs are at Pizza Hut.
Make your move, hotshot.
Extreme fun, extreme cool. The buggy giveaways to feel. Extreme rush, extreme moves. It's your philosophy. Swinging by your magic monsters, your entertainment team. Generation Box Kids, experience the extreme.
The Fox Kids Network just heard a startling rumor.
Keep your eyes and ears open.
This season, Carmen Sandiego will finally be brought to justice.
You're flying on the wrong broomstick.
After hiding out all summer, the world's master thief can now be spotted weekdays on Fox Kids.
Gotcha, Carmen!
The adventure continues.
Get to me, and I'm yours, detective.
Will Carmen...
I apologize for that, guys. I had something to take care of there for real quick. But getting back to what I was saying. I remember going into Best Buy about 2 decades ago, just walking around in there. They had a slew of music and movies. When I first started working right after high school, I would go into Best Buy every Friday or every other Friday. And I would be looking through their music section. I'd be looking through their movie section. And I could spend an hour in there just looking up and down the aisles. They had a vast library of music and movies. I bought so much physical media from Best Buy back in the day. Now if I go in there, it's just a small section of music and movies combined. It is extremely sad to see a store like this that was competing with other stores, even like fucking Radio Shack at times. When it came to technology, shit, I still miss Radio Shack. We'll save that for another time. But Best Buy is phasing out its most memorable icon section. I'm trying to find the words for it, but it's phasing out a selection of media, of tech that we've all come to know and that we all come to love about going to Best Buy for. If Walmart didn't have it, Target didn't have it, Kmart didn't have it, anywhere else didn't have it, you always went to Best Buy and Best Buy had something. Sure, at times it's a little bit more pricey, but Best Buy always had something to offer. Even the sales. Let me tell you all, one of my best memories of going into a Best Buy, especially the one near where I live. Now, in the Baltimore area, this was back in 2011, 2012. Godsmack was touring down here with Theory of a Dead Man and Hinder. Now, Godsmack, the biggest band in the fucking world around that time. One of the biggest bands in the world. Hinder, Theory of a Dead Man were sort of new. They were working on their second or third albums, this and that. So, Theory of a Dead Man and Hinder came down to our Best Buy to sign autographs. I still have videos and pictures of it, of that whole thing. So me, my ex, and a buddy of mine, we were waiting in line for an hour and a half at Best Buy to get up there for autographs and stuff. I just wanted a picture of them, and just for the experience. I was there. I saw both bands right there in front of me. I was like, "Holy shit! This is something else." Like, anybody can get a fucking autograph, yeah, but to be there, to meet these guys, these two bands that were pretty big at the time. Hinder had just released their second album, and I think, Theory of a Dead Man was on their third album. And this was such an honor, just to be there. Best Buy had this going on. And they had some other events going on with that as well. But they closed all that out. They ended all that years ago, right after that. But now you take the only pinnacle that we have away from there. So now when I go in there next year, I'm not going to see movies or music or video games. I'm not going to see any of that. I'm going to see fucking televisions, computers, phones, appliances, VR headsets. That's it. Stuff I can't fucking afford. Best Buy is going to be one of those places that you go to where you can't afford shit. You got to be rich. You go there to buy a TV. You go there to buy a fucking refrigerator. You go there to buy a fucking computer, or maybe a phone, or maybe look at their sound systems. I don't know. Maybe when it comes to video games, they'll still sell game controllers and maybe consoles. Maybe they'll still sell that stuff. But that's really not... What is the biggest reason people go to Best Buy, really? Come on. You don't just go to Best Buy to look at there's a 65-inch curved TV. The quality, the picture really eats me alive. You don't just go there to look at fucking TVs. Maybe you go there to find a movie to watch that night. Maybe you go there to find a video game to play. You know how much business these stores are going to lose after next year? They may still do business for some, but for the vast majority that goes there for certain little mundane things, they're going to lose that business. That's sad. Now back to the article real quick. Even though Best Buy will stop selling physical media at its stores, it doesn't quite signal the end of the industry yet. The Digital Bits also reports that Walmart currently holds about 45% market share, making it the largest seller of video discs, even though managing it to outsell Amazon. Target continues to sell physical media as well, but has been reducing its inventory in recent years. However, it was only around 6 months ago that the UK supermarket chain Tesco announced that it would stop selling physical media games in its stores. Times are changing, and from online streaming to downloading, the end of physical media could be near. And that is sad. Let me see if I can find another. There's got to be another article here, because it only shows Best Buy. But I saw somewhere where there's also a rumor that states that Walmart... All right, here we go. This is from 2 days ago. Rumor claims that Walmart will also stop selling physical Xbox games in 2024. Here's the gist of everything with that. CEO of Limited Run Games, Josh Fairhurst, claimed on Twitter that Walmart is repeatedly dropping physical Xbox games soon, following the news of Best Buy ending physical media sales at the end of Q1 in 2024. Gamers are convinced that this trend is the end of an era and will hurt game preservation. Yes, it will. It most definitely will. Even though we have a convenience of accessing video games digitally, there is still that inconvenience that there could always something arise with it. And I'll get into that in a little bit. Walmart is supposedly only considering axing Xbox games due to poor sales. What poor sales of Xbox? What poor sales? Xbox is still thriving as good as PlayStation is. What poor sales? Or is it the fact that games are on Game Pass and people could download them for free and play them rather than go to the store and buy those games? Maybe that's their poor sales right there. Xbox is thriving with Game Pass. If you can pay out $18 a month for Game Pass, and you could download day one titles for free, would there be a reason to go to Walmart to buy that game for $60 or $70? Especially if it's a title that you really don't see yourself playing after beating. Now, if I want to support the developers, I'll buy the title. If I really enjoy it and I really feel that the developers have done a really good job with the game, I can buy the game. My money can go directly to the distributors, the makers of the game. Because if you go to somewhere like GameStop and buy it used, that money's not going to go to the distributor. It's not going to go to the game maker. It goes right into GameStop's pockets. That's why people hate GameStop. Because you're not really paying out to the developers and all, helping them out. You're making a payment to GameStop when you buy it cheap. I go to GameStop because I can get it cheap. Shit. If I can get a game cheap, I'll buy it. Whatever, you know. But that's why sales are poor when it comes to Walmart. Because you got people who will pay out for a subscription service and download a game for free rather than go to the store and buy it for $60, $70. It makes sense. Look at the Madden series. All right, EA Play is part of Game Pass Ultimate. If I want the new Madden game, I can wait 5 months, people. Madden 24 will be free to play come January or February. I can wait 5 months. Madden is Madden. It's a fucking football game. The only difference with those games every year is they update the roster. That's it. They update the roster, or maybe they add some new fucking storyline to it like they do with WWE, you know? Maybe it's like, here, Bill Burr's here. He's going through college. He's going to become the next football star in the Baltimore Ravens, you know? Yeah, you got that storyline playing through. That's pretty much what it is. But I look at it like this. If I want to play the new Madden, I'll wait until it's free. Why would I pay $60, $70 for a game that's a fucking repeat? A reskin? Do I honestly want to pay $70 for a fucking roster update? And maybe the graphics are a little bit more better. Maybe they're a little bit more worse. I'm sorry. I will wait till it's free. I'm sorry. Now, if it's an actual game, if it's a AAA title that the developers did a goddamn good job on, yes, I will want to support them and I'll buy the game brand new and I'll support them. But then again, I would rest assured you buy a game digital, though, that money still does go as royalties to the developer, too. So you get, one and the same there with all that. So, like I said, Walmart is considering axing them because of poor sales. As of this writing, physical copies of PlayStation and Nintendo titles are not on the chopping block. Well, I'm pretty sure PlayStation doesn't have the same thing that Xbox offers. Same thing with Nintendo. Nintendo is all about those sales. Nintendo will sell their physical media one way or another. Nintendo, they're the assholes of the gaming industry. But remember, they rose us from the fire. They are the phoenix. They reinvented or brought the video game industry back from its knees. Remember that, the video game crash of 1983-84. Nintendo brought it all back within 1984-1985 with NES. So we owe our thanks to Nintendo for bringing the video game market back to its feet. Because if they didn't, you wouldn't have Xbox today. You wouldn't have PlayStation today. You wouldn't have any of that. A massive concern among gamers who grew up on inserting discs is companies deciding to discontinue physical copies in favor of an entirely digitalized library. Game preservation has been a hot topic and is determined to become really bleak in the years to come. Just recently, Best Buy confirmed to Variety that the company will be phasing out all physical media in Q1 of 2024. A move echoing the changing times of how we enjoy and purchase movies and other entertainment. Walmart is reportedly also joining this trend of scaling back by discontinuing physical Xbox games in 2024. In Walmart's defense, this hasn't been confirmed publicly, but a reputable source has us convinced that next year might see significant cuts to physical gaming sections in the store. But my thing is, why is it just Xbox? I'm pretty sure PlayStation's suffering too. There's my boy Cypher. Problem with physical media now is that the complete game is no longer exactly. The developers have done a thing where, okay, you buy a game, it's not the complete game. It's not the complete form. You got to buy sections of the game digitally to enjoy the full gaming experience. You know, back in the day when you bought a full game, you had the full game. If there was something that they wanted to add to the game, they made a definitive edition of it, or they made just a separate game and said, okay, here's all the content. Remember Street Fighter? Street Fighter was the biggest one that did that shit. How many versions of Street Fighter 2 was there to enjoy? And each new version had either updated graphics, maybe 2 more characters, 2 more stages, maybe different costumes. But there was like 10 versions of Street Fighter 2. And it always added something new. And so you're like, do I really got to buy the game all over again just for like 2 more characters? But yeah, over the years, and Cypher's right, the problem with it is the whole game is not on the disc. Here's an example. Street Fighter V. Going back to Street Fighter, okay? Street Fighter V. When that came out, and I bought it $50 or $60 on PlayStation 4, it felt incomplete. It felt empty. It felt like a shell. Like you could play online. You had just a few characters. But I was like, where's the offline arcade? Where's the offline story at? It's just online. Oh, we're going to add that a little bit later. Yeah, in a DLC patch that you had to pay $14.99 for. So you bought the arcade, you bought the story, you bought 3 or 4 characters. And then after that, the DLC continued to roll in for about a year or so. So each DLC pack that came out offered you 3 characters, some new costumes, maybe a new stage for $15. But yeah, you're definitely right. That is the problem with physical media. One of the problems is they don't complete it. And that's the developer's way of making money off of it. If you got an online game, work on the servers. Maybe offer, well, there's a lot of games that do offer in-game purchases, microtransactions. You know, when you put a game out there that's free, they're like, oh, we'll offer you now a season pass of some cosmetic stuff, and then we'll put some more cosmetic stuff in there that you can purchase, and that will complete. You know, that'll support us for the run of this game. That's what they're doing now. But, you know, with physical media back in the day and up till now, you know, you're having to buy other sections of the game. Another example, Resident Evil 4 Remake. Awesome fucking game. It's an awesome game. I played it, beat it twice. But remember when Resident Evil 4 came out back in 2004, 2005? You beat the game, you open up the separate ways side story for the Ada character. So all the content was already on the disc. You just had to find a way of opening it up. Now it's like it's not added to the game, but they will include it as DLC. So now you pay $60 for a game. Then you got to pay $15 for the side story. And then they're promising more DLC that is going to come out later on. And they're still going to charge you for it. So technically, you're fucking buying a game for $100 and some, which is the base game and all the DLC. Yes, there's only about a gig of data on a disc. Back in the day of N64, all right, they ported Resident Evil 2 to Nintendo 64. All the data, including new shit, including some new shit. You know, you can access certain documents on there now that gave a little bit more lore to the backstory, something that was not in the PC or the PS1 version. You had all that content. The extreme battle mode, Hunk, the Tofu character, all that stuff on one cartridge. On PS1 and on PC, it was 2 discs. You had Leon and you had Claire, which offered 2 different story sides that coincide with each other. Now, the extra data, the extreme battle mode, the 4th survivor, Tofu character, you could access that with either or disc. But Nintendo, as much data as a Nintendo cartridge can hold, that was impressive. That one Nintendo cartridge held all of that data and played it perfectly, flawlessly. And the graphics were smoothed out. It wasn't as pixelated. It was smoothed out greatly. Shit, I applaud Nintendo for that. But nowadays, you got, with Microsoft and Sony, they have a gigabit of data to work with. Which is probably why, that's why a lot of games, when they put the game in there, they install it, we gotta download the rest of the shit. I don't know why you gotta download it to the console, but it is what it is, fucking Blu-ray. Oh shit, how much data does a Blu-ray disc have? I don't even fucking know. How much data on a Blu-ray? I'm sorry, Tom, I know you probably already said it. I'm just like, eh. Okay, 25 gigs of data. One Blu-ray disc has 25 gigs of data. Now let me ask, why does a game have to be 100 gigs? 200 gigs? Why does a game have to be so fucking immensely huge like that? A Blu-ray disc can hold 25 gigs. That's for a typical game. Just a standard game that's under 25 gigs. You can put it on one disc. Keep it on the disc. Maybe install some of the little data onto the system. But damn, remember back in the day? Sega Saturns, Sega Dreamcast, your PlayStation 1, 2s, all those disc-based systems. All you had to do is pop a disc in and start it up. Yeah, you heard the little thing inside. The disc player playing the goddamn disc. But that was half the fun, at least it was reading it. Now you pop a disc in there, it's got to install the entire game. So it's like, what's the purpose of buying a physical game when you have to install all the data on the fucking console itself? So it's like, okay, I bought the game. Why not just install it and then, disc is useless. But you just bought the disc. So they want to make sure it's like, okay, you didn't waste your money buying a disc. You can still put the disc in and play with it. You still need the disc with it, but you're still going to have to download the game to the console itself. There's always something when it comes to something of that matter. There's always a hook, line, stinker moment when it comes to that shit. So here's another one here too. I think this goes along with the article. Walmart claimed to discontinue Xbox games due to in-store game sales decline. It is no secret this generation of Xbox, from the Series X to exclusive titles, have been lackluster on the sales side. Xbox maker Microsoft has admitted it to be lagging behind Nintendo Switches and Sony PlayStation 5s, stating that it lost the console wars through court documents during the Federal Trade Commission versus Microsoft case. I don't see how. They have services such as EA Play, Game Pass, and now they got Ubisoft Plus, and they also got GTA Plus. They got a separate service, $5. I shit you not. Go to your fucking game library and go down. I forgot what section it is where you can view everything. Where it's like all your own games, Game Pass, Games for Gold, all that. If you scroll over, you will see GTA Plus. They got GTA Plus on there for $5 a month. You can get all the GTA games that they got offer on there. Plus, monthly, you'll get X amount of dollars in shark credit money and an extra wardrobe or an extra car or some shit in GTA Online. They added GTA Plus on there. If I want to do any of that, I'll just go in and play the goddamn game. Jesus, but I see Microsoft is doing well right now. They're doing well enough with sales with Game Pass. If people are not buying games from Walmart, it's because they got Game Pass Ultimate. They have Game Pass Ultimate. They want to play Redfall from Bethesda, even though Redfall had a clunky launch. But you know how I played it? I downloaded it from Game Pass. I'll still play it from Game Pass. Then if I'm not finished with it, if I actually like the game, I'll buy it digitally. Yes, I'll still buy it digitally. Because let me tell you something, sometimes you can get good sales on games that are digital than you can on physical. But unless, of course, you go to somewhere like GameStop or whatever, and they have a big fucking sale, or you wait till Black Friday, and you can get the game half off or whatever. But sometimes you get a good sale digital. That's where a lot of my games came from. I bought digital shit. And it was all cheap. I've even bought games that are $50. I bought them on sale for like $10. Hell, I have an account with Epic Games on PC. And then today around noon, every Thursday around noon, you will get 1 or 2 games for free added to your account. Like, I think it's today. The Evil Within. I streamed The Evil Within last week on Xbox. I'll be able to get that game for free on Epic. Yes, I own the game digitally on Xbox. But I'll also own it digitally for free on Epic Games. I'm like, God damn, my fucking library is expansive right now. I have hundreds of games digital that I can install on my Xbox or I can install on PC. If I had bookcases here, shit, I would have fucking bookcase after bookcase full of fucking games if I was collecting games. If I had over 700 games and shit, that's a lot of room. If only I had the space. If I had the space, I wouldn't have to worry about any of that. According to Josh Fairhurst, CEO of Limited Run Games, the loss is so substantial that in-store game sales at Walmart are becoming more and more challenging for Xbox products. I've heard rumblings that Walmart is dropping physical games soon, and I have to imagine further cuts to the physical gaming sections will be made as we get deeper into next year. Josh speculated on Twitter. In-store game sales are declining. Only makes sense that they will reduce the department in time. This is an outsider look at this perspective, so it's unclear how far Walmart plans to reshape its gaming sections to improve in-store sales. Moreover, Josh claims only Xbox games are getting this treatment, so Nintendo and PlayStation products are off the hook. We're just about 2 hours in, guys. We take another break. We'll be right back.
is Brian Panade with this groundbreaking news. We have just received this note sent by the Tick himself.
You are cordially invited to attend my keen press conference next Saturday morning on Fox Kids, where my secret mission and the location of my missing socks will be revealed to all.
What is the Tick's secret mission? Will he return in an all-new adventure? Or will the Tick be no more? Find out next Saturday morning on the Fox Kids Tick Watch.
Fox Kids wants you to be prepared. This alien is a threat to all life on Earth. Prepared for the shocking season premiere of X-Men.
There is no refuge from the phalanx.
1 full hour of totally extreme mutated action. This is the final solution. Don't miss the X-Men 1 hour special next, only on Fox Kids.
And now, back to our show. Yay.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Leary, and tomorrow morning, here's your all-access pass to hear about the great new shows like Big Bad Beetleborg, the long-awaited return of The Tick.
Now you're talking, chum.
Plus, hear great scoops on Fox Kids' amazing season premiere. So tomorrow morning, lock your radio into the Fox Kids Countdown.
We'll be right back.
Hey guys, come on.
Columbia Pictures presents Igor, Fluffy, Grumpy, Featherbrain, and Amy,
Come on, Geese!
the extraordinary girl
You take that plane, you take those geese, and you fly away.
who will lead them home.
This is so cool! Woo! Dad, you're really flying with me.
Jeff Daniels, Academy Award winner Anna Paquin, Fly Away Home. Rated PG. Special sneak preview tonight and Sunday afternoon. Check newspapers.
My science project stinks.
Time for a fresh start, so let's get your project rolling.
I love Captain.
And welcome back, guys. Welcome back, guys. Almost hour 2, or hour 3, whichever it is. Losing time. Damn. So yeah, getting ready to close off the section of Walmart and Best Buy discontinuing this shit. So there was another thing that had come up around the time when this all was mentioned. And this is another part of this article that I'm going to read. It's the last paragraph of it. If Xbox's leaked plans for digital consoles in the future are in the works, we can assume Microsoft anticipated such a move by retailers and could influence competition. We're inevitably moving to the digital media future, but the question remains of how consumers can preserve products when they get left behind in old software. Now, like always, guys, I'm going to put this article over in our Discord under Tuned In Live Scraps so you guys can check that article out. I don't know why the screenshot, if it's not coming up. Maybe it's because Discord's being a bitch. I don't know. But if you guys ever want to read up on that again, it is over there in our Discord. And that's sad, too, that a lot of our digital media, a lot of our physical media is being left behind in the dust. It's being left behind without a trace, you know? Like, it's just a memory. It's a fucking fart in the wind at this point when it comes to physical media. Yes, I'm a fan of physical media. I wouldn't mind collecting it if I had the money and I had the space for it, you know? I wouldn't mind owning all these games on disc. I mean, yeah, it can be an inconvenience, you know, like, oh, I gotta swap games out, you know, take the game out, put it in the jewel case, put it up, look for the other game I want to fucking play. That's why I put things in alphabetical order and shit, yeah. It can be an inconvenience to some, but other than that, just being somebody who collects physical media, that's a treat right there. Because there are times, especially online, and I've had this happen to me on a few occasions, where the digital content that I own, Xbox would take a shit. For whatever reason, the servers would take a shit. I would go to click on something like, let's say, PUBG. I would get the error message saying, you do not own this software. Have you purchased it? Would you like to purchase it? Visit store. And I'll be like, what the fuck? I own the goddamn content. Then I would go to another game that I bought. Same issue. Doesn't happen when you put a physical disc in. It was only with the digital shit. So I salute you guys that still continue to buy physical games. You don't have to deal with that shit. That's the downside of owning digital media. Yes, it's the convenience of being able to load up games, without having to get up and change the discs out and shit, but there are some downfalls to it. I understand physical media is evolving and digital media is becoming more of a mainstream now and it's being phased out. But still, why can't both physical and digital coincide with each other like they have been for the last 15 years? Why can't they still coincide with each other? Why phase them out? Same thing with movies. Same thing with music. Yes, there's a lot of things that you're not able to find in physical form, but there's also a lot of things you can't find in digital form. Hence movies. There are movies out there that are worth still finding and watching that have not even made it to Blu-ray or made it to digital. I recently did, within the last 4 weeks, I did an episode of CinemaCast talking about the movie Clown House. Yes, there is a very tragic event that has happened behind the scenes with it. It's still one of my favorite movies, especially around Halloween, because it takes place around Halloween. It still retains its scare factor to a sense. It still does. It's still a good, watchable movie. Yes, there is something tragic that goes on behind the scenes with the director and the youngest member of the cast. But I'll still watch it though. I don't support what happened. I don't support the director. But the movie, I grew up on the movie. It's so hard for me to boycott it now after knowing and learning the history behind it, But that movie, it was discontinued. It was pulled off the market. There was at one point, there was one distributor that was marketing it and distributing it on DVD. But after the news came out that, the director molested a young boy on the set of this movie, they stopped distributing it on DVD. Never made it to Blu-ray. And this movie was never aired on TV as far as I know. Where can you find this movie at? I shit you guys not. Go to YouTube. Type in the name Clown House. All one word, Clown House. The whole movie is on YouTube. Even somebody clipped it down, clipped certain scenes out of it. I don't know why. He was a fucking idiot. But if you find the full movie that's like almost an hour and a half, you can watch it from beginning to end. Even with the beginning logos of the movie, The whole movie's on YouTube. You can watch it. Yes, I like YouTube for that factor that some people can restore movies on YouTube for people to find. Classics. I'm pretty sure if I pull up YouTube right now, I'm doing this live right now, okay? If I want to look up Nosferatu, 1922. Boom. First two results. Nosferatu, silent film, 1922. First two results. Now, you got a result also where you can watch it with Screenbox or buy or rent. But the first two search options that I see right here on YouTube. Hour 20 minutes, hour 28 minutes. You can watch it for free. That's the cool thing about YouTube. You can find some older films. And you can watch them right there, live on YouTube. I love that. And these are movies that have yet to make it to DVD or well, they may have made it to DVD, but they're not on Blu-ray. Some of them, they're probably not even digital. You probably can't buy them. Well, you might be able to buy them. I don't know, but there's certain movies out there that you can't. that you still can't find. Movies that are lost in time. Lost in time. And the only way you can find those movies is if you do some deep internet searching. If you look on eBay, see if somebody's selling it on eBay. You're going to find it on Blu-ray. Well, not Blu-ray. You're going to find it on VHS. You're going to find it on Beta. Maybe Laserdisc. Whatever. If you collect that type of media, those type of players, go for it. That's how some of these younger YouTubers like, let's see, James Roth, the Angry Video Game Nerd. He's just a little bit older than me. This dude has fucking movies upon movies. He's got DVD, Blu-ray, HD DVD, VHS, Beta, 8mm, CED, Laserdisc, all that shit. He got a fucking basement full of video games and fucking movies, man. That's a collector right there. If you guys don't follow Cinemassacre, shit, do so now. Watch his videos. This dude is awesome. I've been watching him for the last, oh my God, almost 20 years. He's been around almost 20 years on YouTube doing this shit. But, you know, physical media being phased out the way it is, it is a hard thing to swallow. It truly is. That's why I say I salute many of you guys out there that still collect the stuff. Hold on to it. Hold on to these memories because, you know, they're all not going to make digital. You can't celebrate digital. You can't sit there and look at somebody and say, shit, check out my digital collection. Check out my physical collection, you know? Yes, I know I got hundreds upon hundreds of digital games that I can still play. I'm not bragging about it. Shit, sometimes I feel kind of embarrassed, you know, because I got people that are like, yeah, I prefer physical for certain reasons. If I had the room and money, like I said, I would collect. I would do physical. But yeah, that's what it's come down to. Walmart and Best Buy are discontinuing physical media next year. I just can't believe that Walmart is discriminating. Only Xbox. Xbox sales are down. I just gave you the reason why. People have a subscription service where they can get some of those games for free. They don't have to go to the store and buy a $70 Xbox game. PlayStation, on the other hand, it don't have that. It has something of that nature, but people are still going to go and buy an expensive PlayStation game because that game's not free yet. Now, Xbox, on the other hand, Xbox, day one exclusives. You're not going to sell day one exclusives at Walmart unless somebody really loves the developer and they want to support them and they buy the game firsthand, or maybe they don't believe in digital media and they want to buy something physical. That's still fine. But if your sales are down, it's because Xbox is the reason behind it. Microsoft's the reason behind it. They are slowly moving into the digital age. Look at the Xbox Series consoles. They released two of them, the Series X and the Series S. Luckily, I got my hands on a Series X about 3 years ago. The Series S is a much slimmer version, but it's digital only. It's digital only, but it also has, it's less in some features too. It doesn't have some of the features that the Series X has, but it still plays your games if they're all digital. So people who end up getting a Series S, they're fucked because they got games from Xbox One or 360 physical and they can't play them. Can't play them on a Series S. So then they complain. They're like, oh, now I gotta buy all my shit digital. Thanks a lot, Microsoft. But they do give you an alternative if you're able to get it. The Series X. So right now, it's a battle between digital and physical media. It's a battle between it. Whether it's games, whether it's movies, it's a battle between it. And it's a battle that I fucking handle pretty well because I got music downloaded on my hard drive, years of fucking music, 20 years of music. I got movies and TV shows downloaded. Yeah, when I was using, what is it, Kick-Ass Torrents, uTorrent, Pirate Bay. I got all that shit. I still got it. Software, PC software, did the same thing. I got it all on a hard drive. Doesn't mean I won't go and buy something, you know, but shit, I got backups. Fuck it. That's why I said earlier, if I put a version of Halloween on a flash drive and play on a projector, that's what I do. I just copy the shit on the flash drive. I don't worry about pulling out a fucking phone and attaching it to there and say, oh, let me pull up Netflix. Nah, fuck that. We'll do it my own way. Let's go ahead and quickly talk about this next topic because I'm running out of time here. I spent so much fucking time talking about physical media. So let's get into real quick about this war with Israel. Israel's at war with Hamas, the terrorist group Hamas. This article is from October 15th, so this week. The Israeli military told all civilians in Gaza City to evacuate southwards as it maintains the bombardment of the coastal enclave in response to last weekend's Hamas attacks that killed more than 1,400 people. Evacuating would involve moving more than 1.1 million people from the north to the south of the besieged enclave amid constant airstrikes, a task that the United Nations says is dangerous and unfeasible. Israeli warplanes have been pounding Gaza for a week, leaving entire neighborhoods, including schools and mosques. Israel says it strikes Hamas targets and that the group used civilians as human shields. Israel's assault has killed at least 2,670 people in Gaza and injured more than 9,600 others. Nearly 1 million Palestinians in Gaza have been forced from their homes, the UN has said. Here's what we know so far. Militants from Gaza fired thousands of rockets toward Israeli towns on October 7th before breaking through their heavily fortified border fence with Israel and sending militants deep into Israeli territory. There, Hamas gunmen killed more than 1,400 people, including civilians and soldiers, and took up to 150 hostages, according to Israeli authorities. The attacks were unprecedented in tactics and scale, as Israel has not forced its adversaries in street battles on its own territory since 1948, Arab-Israeli War. I'm not going to read this whole article here, but if you guys want to read up on it, like I said, join us on Discord. If you are listening, this article is going in the Tuned In Live scraps. What are my thoughts on this whole thing? Shit, I don't even remember hearing about how it started, really. All I know is one day it just happened. Israel was under attack by this new terrorist group, Hamas. And then you got idiots over here in America that are praising Hamas. Why? Why are you retards praising a terrorist group that can attack us next for whatever reason? Especially after fucking Adolf Biden went over there, the fucking idiot. What's he doing over there? He's not trying to offer peace. This motherfucker probably went over there, looked at both sides and says, you both are big bitches on internet, and then left. That's going to spark some more shit. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. So now, oil prices are going to go up, which means gas prices are going to go up. All kind of shit's going to go up. Inflation's going to increase because of this shit. But we all say, if Trump was in office, none of this shit would be happening. None of these wars would be happening. And I remember so many years ago when people were saying that if somebody were to attack Israel, some serious shit was going to go down. And it is. Don't fucking go and attacking Israel. Don't start any wars with it, but they fucking are. They sure are. Remember ISIS? Shit. Obama laughed at them. When Trump got in there, you didn't hear much more about ISIS, did you? Shit, Al-Qaeda, they were in hiding. But anytime something arose, shit, one of the new leaders got gunned down or bombed, and that was it. But when Trump was in office, we had no wars breaking out. There was very, very little terrorist activity anywhere. But now that Biden's been in there for almost 4 fucking years, we had the whole thing with Ukraine going on. Oh, take notice of that. Take notice to how we're not even hearing anything about Ukraine much anymore. I haven't heard a single thing about Ukraine or seen a single article about Ukraine lately. How are they doing with Russia? I don't fucking know. Unless I dig deep and read up on it. So now it's all about Israel and Hamas and Iran now. So now the media focuses on this. So we were focused on Ukraine for so long. Because bitch boy Hunter Biden lives over in the Ukraine. And of course, all this information comes out on Biden accepting bribes and paying out all these fucking officials linked to Ukraine and shit. Now, since all these documents have come out exposing Biden for his war crimes now with that, all the focus has been taken off of Ukraine. I guess they figured there's something else going on. Let's forget about Ukraine. Let's forget about Ukraine for a while because there's too many links to Biden. We don't want any links to Biden. We don't want any links to Hunter. Let's take a look down here. Israel's under attack. Hamas, terrorist network. They're killing hundreds of Jews now down there. Hundreds of Israelis. They're killing people down there. Let's focus more on that. Ukraine's doing fine. Don't worry about Ukraine. You all exposed us. You all said that Biden's accepting bribes and sending money over there for no fucking reason. Okay, we're not going to focus on Ukraine anymore. Let's focus down here. Let's go down here to the Israelis. The Israelis, yeah, they're under attack. Hamas is killing them off. Let's focus on that. Did you all notice that? That there's no focus on the Ukraine war right now? It's all on Israel. And not only that, you got Biden going down there, doing some fucking speech, gaining points on the board, supposedly. And then you got retards over in this country praising Hamas for killing Israelis. Seriously? You retards are praising the fucking terrorists? And watch, come next year, those terrorists, because of Biden letting all these illegals leak into the fucking country through the southern border, how much you want to bet most of those are Hamas terrorists? So within the next year, we're going to have terrorist attacks from within. And it's going to be Hamas related. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. So you motherfuckers sitting there laughing and cheering about Israelis being fucking gunned down and murdered in their streets, along with American citizens over there? Just remember, it's in your neighborhood now. It's not active yet. Give it time. Then you fuckers will be crying. But I'm going to be sitting here like, you don't deserve to fucking cry. Your stupid ass last year was laughing and cheering on Hamas for killing Israelis. Your ass was there doing that shit. You don't get to cry right now. You get your fucking karma. If it's happening to you, fuck you. Yes, we need to get these terrorists out of the fucking country. We need to do something about it. But no, shame on you for showing any ounce of fucking emotion. Because they're coming at you. When a year ago or so, you were laughing. You were smiling. You were cheering these sons of bitches on for killing innocent people. That's how I feel about that. So I guarantee you, some of these motherfuckers are already in the country right now. So now Biden and his administration, they're scrambling. They're scrambling to close the border up. Oh shit. Oh shit. What do we do? What do we do? Maybe what Trump said, complete the fucking wall. Complete the wall. The wall should have never stopped. It should have never been taken down. Now you're all paying the piper. Now everything is being put on Biden's plate. The last year of his presidency, the first 4 years. These 4 years is almost coming to an end. Everything's being put on his plate, and now the administration is in panic mode. They are in sheer panic mode. They don't know what the fuck to do. So now we're playing the shirk and blame and shirk game. Shirk and blame, you know? All the meanwhile, you got these fake fucking judges that are damning Trump for shit he didn't do. Trying to put him in jail. This motherfucker's your only hope. Trump's your only fucking hope. You get Trump in there 2024, he's going to reverse a lot of shit. It's going to take him a little time. But you will see a big difference between when Trump gets in there and right now with fucking Biden cowering. He's cowering. He's trying to play the big man now, earning numbers on the board, but it's not going to win him the election. It's not going to win him the election. This war with Israel, the thing with Ukraine, flaunting our money out there, wasting and putting our money out there where it doesn't belong. He's already cost himself the election. The only way he would win the election is if it were rigged and he was cheated in there. That's the only way he's going to get in, people. It's a sickening thing with this fucking government. You know, it's a bunch of back and forth. You know, it's like when ships are down and everything comes crashing down on poor Biden and his gang of idiots, shit gets shifted around. Because the following day, you'll hear about, oh, Trump has new charges on him. Trump's going to spend 40 years in jail. Trump has this, Trump has that. Yeah, and he's beating these fucking charges left and right. Every fucking week, they're coming up with something new to charge him with, and he is beating them. Regardless of what the media is telling you. He's beating this shit. They can't charge him with anything. They make some of the most outrageous, outlandish things to put on him. And he's beating them. So now the Biden administration is in full panic mode. And that's what's going on with this country. But right now, while they're in panic mode, this whole thing with Israel's going on, people, you need to be worried. You really need to be worried. It's coming to a homeland near you soon. If Trump was in office, none of this would happen. Even during that interview, where that idiot fucking woman interviewed him, where she was like, are you for Ukraine or Russia to win? And he told her, I'm not for anybody to win. She asked the same question 3 fucking times, as ignorant as she is. And Trump came out blatantly, point blank. I want people to stop dying. I don't want anybody else to die. He really shut that cunt up with those words. I swear, if that were me, I would have shut her fucking ass. I would have put a goddamn muzzle on her goddamn mouth and said, shut up, let me talk. This is how it's done. Stop asking me stupid fucking shit. But anyway, guys, almost 2.5 hours in, guys. I gotta get going. I got things to do. I want to thank you guys so much for checking us out today right here on Twitch and on Kick. I did see our counters went up on Kick over there as well. Hopefully you guys follow us over there also. I didn't see any new followers today, but that's okay. Hope you guys stop by and checked out the stream very much. As always, thanking my buddy Reverend Tom here. You know, he's always here as usual. Tomorrow, guys, the Utter Random Crap podcast is on tomorrow morning. If you guys want to be a co-host or a guest or whatever on the show, let us know. You can join us in there. Make sure you go down below. Make sure you got Discord downloaded on your PC or mobile device. Click the link, join our Discord. Now, tomorrow, more likely, it will be on Cypher's channel until we get a few kinks worked out. So I can always send you a link, or Cypher can send you a link to his Discord, and we can get you in there. You can be on the show for whatever the topic is tomorrow. So guys, make sure you do not miss out on that, because after the showing on his channel, I will have it downloaded and uploaded over on here on Twitch and on YouTube as well. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us today. And the next episode of Tune In Live will be in November, the first week of November, because next week we're going to do an episode of The Other Side. And then next weekend, guys, sad to say, there won't be an episode of URC next week unless Tom holds an episode of URC next Friday, because next Friday is the big trip. We're going to Gettysburg. I'm going to meet up with my buddy Jeff of the Jeff Hagee Show right here on Twitch. We're going to spend the weekend in Gettysburg, getting some footage, enjoying ourselves down there, having a good time. We'll be back that Sunday evening. Shit, on Monday I might hold a stream. I'm not sure. I might hold a stream Monday after I come back and let you guys know how everything went. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining us today. All the links are down below in the description section if you want to follow us on social media and our other stream platforms as well, and on Discord. So until tomorrow, until next time, guys, catch you on the flip. Stay tuned in.
What we do here is go back.
Loud.